Hi, Bruce from Mindfulness for Sport here. I was chatting to a young athlete last week. I just happened to be randomly sat next to him, and he was on his way to a camp. They've already been chosen to go to the United States on a tour coming up in July, and him and three of his friends were going to a venue to have a camp and a series of training sessions for the weekend. And I asked him, like, what are you concerned about? Because there was four guys, they were all long, and I said, what are you doing? And he goes, we're going to a camp, and we talked about basketball, and I told him about my background, and he went, have you got any tips? And I said, well, it depends. Like, what are you worried about this weekend? Like, what time's your first thing? What are you worried about? And he goes, I'm worried about performing. And we went through a whole bunch of mindset things about, have you done the work? Are you confident in the amount of work that you've done? And he's like, yeah, of course. I said, so are you nervous or are you excited? Because the feelings are the same. Extended heart rate, sweaty hands, and the difference is, I can't talk today. The difference is, if you haven't done the work, or you feel like you haven't done the work, then you're going to have anxiety or nerves because deep down you know you haven't done the work. And here's the thing with sport, and with most things, but definitely sport, you know if you haven't done the work. It's simple, it's yes or no. But he was adamant. He's like, well, I've done the work. And I said, so you should be excited. But here was the main piece of advice that I gave him. Now he was 16, 17. And I said, how much have you looked at your phone today? And he goes, probably a couple of hours. And I said, are you smarter as a result of that? And he went, no. And I said, okay, so I'm not dogging you out or bagging you. What I want you to do when you go to the next basketball game, and when you go on your tour, don't look at your phone. Have a look at all the kids that are playing and pick one, if they play in your position, and learn from them. Sit and watch and study the other athletes. Now, someone might have a move that you go, that was really cool, I'm going to take that with me. Or they might do something you go, they screwed that up, I'm not going to do that. But if you're looking at your phone, how are you supposed to see that and learn that? And he desperately wants to go to college in America. And I said, so here's a couple of things you need to remember. If you're sitting in a group of teenagers and they've all got their face in the phone while the game is going on, and you're watching the game and you're studying, the recruiters are watching that and looking at that because you're the odd one out. You're the one that's switched on, you're learning. And someone will say, I notice that you watch the games all the time. What are you watching? And you can literally say, I'm trying to learn. I'm watching what the other point guards do. And if I'm going to play against them, I can learn what their tendencies are. If they're at another level or a lower level, or whatever level it is, I want to learn. I want to get better by seeing what other people are doing and being in that space and being present. And his eyes kind of lit up. And I said, and when you're out on the floor performing, the key word I want you to do, so he was a point guard, I said, I want you to yell out reset every single time. Because someone's going to screw up and they'll go into a spiral. You need to lead them, and every single thing is, it's all good, get the next one, reset. Reset, reset, reset. And if you can do that every 24 seconds in basketball, but in life, when something goes right or wrong, but what's next? Reset, you'll win. Hope that helps. Have the most amazing day because you deserve it. See ya.